Hello, everybody. This is Ebrar. I'm a Salesforce administrator. After teaching 13 years in universities as a math professor, I switched my career to Salesforce, and I'm very happy being a Salesforce administrator. And I would like to talk about how can you be Salesforce administrator and what are the steps you need to follow, what are the things you need to be careful about, what are the responsibilities for Salesforce administrator. Our topic is being a Salesforce administrator, and there is a Salesforce administrator course which will start in May 6th. And I will also give you some information about the Salesforce administrator course in case you are interested. And I will also talk about the services we give. I'm a career coach at Vice Quarter, and I continue education and teaching soft skill interview preparation classes and technical interview preparation classes for administrator part, and also teach career coaching classes. I help out the students how to create a resume, how to apply for a job, how to search for a job, and what are the steps they need to follow, and what are the recruiter questions, and how they can answer those questions, and how to create a strong profile on social media, and how to use LinkedIn. I go over those steps with the students and help them out individually. And today I would like to share some of my experience with you guys. And first, I want to start talking about Salesforce, which is #1 CRM tool. And want to let you know that there's a big feature waiting for you on Salesforce World. Based on a study that's posted on Trailhead, which is the platform that you can use to improve your skills on Salesforce and get information about Salesforce. Based on the study post on Trailhead, there will be 9.3 million job opening and $1.6 trillion revenue will be earned by 2026. There are a lot of changes in economy, and there are lots of decreasing in other ecosystems, but the Salesforce is resilient. And comparing other fields, other IT fields, or comparing other job opportunities, you could say that Salesforce is a safe choice. You know that there are lots of changes on economy during the years, and especially right now in United States, there are big changes. And we have been hearing about layoffs and supply chain issues. But Salesforce reported a positive revenue and profit. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff explained that the Salesforce business incredibly healthy and unaffected by the economic changes faced by others, which is a great news. You know that earlier we had pandemic and there were lots of ups and downs, but Salesforce always increased the profit, always reported the positive revenue. Of course, based on those changes on economy and based on other effects, the companies learn their lesson and create a great platform to be resilient. So Salesforce created a powerful and robust business model so that's stable when economy change. If any financial crisis happen or difficulty the company is having, then Salesforce still stays stable or improving their revenue. We could say that the Salesforce company's revenue has increased for 72 consecutive quarters. That's a big success. So that tells us that there is nothing to afraid or worry about. If any changes happen in economy, of course, everything will be affected, but Salesforce revenue and profits still increase during that time. Okay, let's talk about career options on Salesforce. There are actually two big main roles as a Salesforce administrator and Salesforce developer. And today I will mostly talk about Salesforce administrator role because there are lots of posting on LinkedIn. You may see, if you look at other job sites, it's the same. We could say that The Salesforce administrator postings are more than Salesforce developer posting now, and that's the reason we decided to open Salesforce administrator course. Usually Salesforce administrator and developer course taught together, but now we give option to students to separate those. We also added some advanced topic to Salesforce administrator course, so that way someone who wants to be Salesforce administrator, they don't have to complete the developer course. They can just complete the administrator course and get their certificate and became Salesforce administrator. Okay, let's look at LinkedIn and type Salesforce administrator. I'm doing a search as a Salesforce administrator at United States. You see the numbers. 212,266 results. You can get one of those. How about that? There are lots of job openings, and you can click on the job and read. For example, here it's a entry level. So this is a full-time job, and it's give information and 30 applicants. And if you scroll down, you can see the job description. If I type Salesforce administrator developer, then I got 211,499 results. If I type Salesforce developer, I get 19,029 results. So there are 19,029 opening. Of course, Salesforce administrator is much more than that, because by the way, Salesforce administrator developer means you can be admin and also developer at the same time. So even you do the admin job, they might ask you to know some developer part. But if you just became a Salesforce administrator, then you don't need to know about coding or developer part. Again, there are 212,784 results came out for the United States. So there are lots of opening. You see, there's another one for entry level. So there are too many opening on LinkedIn. So please do search in your country. So I live in United States, so I just did it for United States. So please enter the place that you live in and do the search and see how many openings you have. But this is one job site. There are other job sites that you can create your profile and look for a job. For example, Dice and Monster, Indeed, Glassdoor. There are lots of websites that you can get help and use the resources to be ready for the job interview. In some jobs, they may ask you to have a degree in computer science, but some jobs doesn't. And I've been seeing a lot of people, they don't have degree. They don't even have bachelor degree. They only have high school diploma and still get a job. But some business may require bachelor, but there are still a lot of postings that doesn't required. And in LinkedIn, there are lots of filters that you can look for hybrid roles and on-site roles. And I will be teaching all the details to you when we start career coaching classes. I'm sure you're going to enjoy from our education. I still remember the time that I learned about Salesforce. I was so amazed about all declarative tools and reports and dashboards, because I love work with data, and to do data import or update data or create graphing with those or create automation or design the page. I don't know. I just love it. And I love to share my experience with everyone. And all our mentors currently working in a company, and we do many sessions, so lots of experience share in a program. So we want you to be part of it and get those information. Decide if you like to do this job for the rest of your life. And I'm sure that once you start being a Salesforce administrator, I feel like you may want to continue doing this job for the rest of your life. So let's go back to PowerPoint now, after all the emotional sharing. And what are the career goals? If you became a Salesforce developer, you can see the options for the job postings. But if you're gonna be Salesforce administrator, then you can focus on the part that I mark in bold. So you can be Salesforce administrator, Salesforce business analyst, Salesforce functional consultant, Salesforce solution architect. Those are some options for you may consider. When you became Salesforce administrator, that doesn't mean that you will be doing the same job forever. There are other fields that maybe you will change your fields later on, or you will decide to continue your education and become Salesforce developer in the future. That's also possible. But being Salesforce administrator is the quicker way to be on market and get a job. If you became consultant, that means you will be sharing best practices and give advices to the companies. And if you became solution architect, that means you pretty much knows how the system work and you are able to set up project for the big companies. Of course, being solution architect is something that you can think of in the future. But being a Salesforce administrator is a good start. And in our course, you will be getting education for all admin topics that you need to know. And those topics will help you to do the task after you start a job. And we record all our sessions. So after you complete the course, you will be able to reach those sessions recordings. And there are Turkish classes and English classes that we offer. If you guys speak Turkish, you can attend both if you want to. That will help you to improve your English because we also have English classes. But if you don't speak Turkish, then you can attend English classes. And you will have recording in case there's a time you cannot attend a class, you missed a class, there will be recording available for you. And after course ended, those recordings will be available for you for a while. So you will be able to watch those recording anytime you need. But of course, we want the students to watch the recording after class. If you miss a class, we want them to watch the recording as soon as possible before the next class. So you should prepare yourself being busy during that course. There are 10 weeks lectures, and after that there will be a couple weeks that you need to get CPQ education. So we offer CPQ education for our students that will help them to apply for the roles that require CPQ. And that time you will be studying your certificate exam, and you will also have internship program after you complete your education as a Salesforce administrator. In internship program, you will be working in a real job environment with a real job project, and you will be working in a team, and you are going to use agile methodology. You're going to use Jira, and you will have your Salesforce sandbox. So then you will be given the platform that you will have in real job. So that internship program will give you real job experience, and you will be able to do deployment, work with other developers. You will have Scrum Master, project manager, like you will have an environment that you usually have in real job environment. So you will be able to have experience and do real project before you graduate from our course. So again, our course will be 10 weeks. So for Salesforce administrator part, you will get education for about 10 weeks. And then with the CPQ education and an internship program, total we could say 14 weeks. And that means in 3.5 months, you can be Salesforce administrator on market and start applying for jobs. If you want to know the differences between being a Salesforce administrator is fun because you will be communicating with people, you will be communicating with the users in the company and see what they need and do the task that they needed. Sometimes the user may give you some work to do. They may say, oh, I want to see something on my page, or can you change this on my page? And you could do it. And if they need automation, Like, let's say, when I click this box, can you send a task to this person? Or if they need approval process, for example, while they're doing a deal with a company, they may need manager sign the paper. So then you can set an automation that paper will send to manager automatically for them to sign it. So you, as a Salesforce administrator, you can set automation system, or you can create reports and dashboards. You can do the changes on the user's page. But I could say that as a Salesforce administrator, communication skills are very important. Soft skills are very important because Salesforce administrator work in a group with other developer, but sometimes you directly work with the users. Employees who use Salesforce platform will contact you. Sometimes they may not be able to explain what they need perfectly because some of them may not know how to use Salesforce and the terminology on Salesforce. But since you have great communication skills, you may ask them, can you send me a screenshot? Or is this what you mean? So you will find a way to understand what they need and do it. Then you will become a superhero because everybody will be like, oh, thank you so much. And you made my job easier now. You're going to create a platform for the sales representative that their job will be so easy, and you're going to make them save lots of time, and they will really appreciate to you. And if you became a developer, then it's more technical, I could say, and then you will need to do the task by using coding, because as an administrator, you don't need to do any coding. But as a developer, yes, you need to do coding, and you will be using Apex and JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and you will learn about Lightning Web Components, integration. There are lots of topics that you need to consider being a Salesforce developer. So that's why we could say that being a Salesforce administrator is quicker way. You can get that role easier. But of course, soft skills will be more important because you will be communicating with the users and you will attend the meetings. And I could say that most companies give trainings when you start a job. During that training, you will have time to know about the company culture and how you will get the task and what are the meeting times. So you will be given time when you start a business, so you should not worry about that part. And as long as you complete the education and do what we suggest you to do, then you should be able to get a great job. And if we look at those salaries for the Salesforce administrator and developer, we could say that there is a small difference. But when we look at the average salary for Salesforce administrator, we can say that in the USA, it's between like 90,000 to 111,500. And my salary is also in that range. And that's the range for the junior, like entry level. But if you get more experience, become a senior, then your salary will increase, and that will be usually between 110K to 144K. If you look at the Salesforce developers salary, it's a little bit more than that, but of course, in the future, if you became architect, that will be more. And I've seen some architect get offer for 200K for a year. Of course, those for United States. If you want to know what will be the range in your country, you can look at Google and search for it. But I do have some research result that I will share with you. For example, for administrator salary, so you can see that this is another research. So that's the research Mason Frank salary survey, and they did a survey with 2,139 Salesforce professional around the world to be able to get that statistics. So you can look at these numbers based on the country you live in. You can see the average salary. So we can say that there's an income growth in Salesforce. Based on your experience and updated certifications, you can get increasement in your salary. After you start your job, your company will allow you to get more certificates and improve yourself. They may give you some training options, or they may give you time to do some work on Trailhead. There's a great Trailhead program that you can actually continue learning on Salesforce even you start a job or while you're getting education. So I could definitely say that being a Salesforce administrator is an excellent career choice. I love being Salesforce administrator. And since I was educator, I used to create lots of classes. In the beginning, I kind of feel like I'm creating an online course, like, because as an administrator, you mostly do your job with clicks. So you click around the page and you're using user interface. You also have setup option and do some work in backend, but you're able to see all the changes you did right away, and you're able to check your work, and you don't need to do coding. You just click, drag and drop, or click next. And the reason that the platform doesn't require any coding, because the Salesforce already created a platform for you. So we are using Salesforce program, and then of course they did lots of coding to build this program, and they keep updating it every year 3 times. There's a Salesforce update, they are improving it. But when you switch a job or when you start this job, you always use the same platform. Of course, there are some updates, you can learn more about it time to time. When you get new update, if something useful for you, you should learn about it. It is great opportunity that you will be using the same page and you will be doing the same clicks to do the work, even you switch the job, even you stay in your job in different role. Because you may know that in some other fields, when you switch your job, or even you stay in the same job, when they switch the project, or when they switch their platform or something came out new, they might tell you, oh, this is a program you need to learn from scratch. Sometimes that could be too much. But in Salesforce, you will be using the same platform, and of course you will learn more about it. You're going to learn details, you're going to improve yourself, and you will learn about new updates. But definitely it will be very convenient for you. It's fun. To be honest, I don't like to start anything from scratch all the time, like change everything. So I'm very happy that I will be using the same platform wherever I go. If in case I need to do another work in another place, I know that I will be using this same steps, same platform. That's make me happy. I enjoy what I do because I'm helping other people and I make other people's job easier, and I create a platform for them so they can do their sales, they can communicate with their customers. As a Salesforce administrator, you mostly communicate with the managers and upper team of the company. So they tell you what the users need, what the employees of the company need. So based on those needs, you will be the responsible person to create a platform. No worries, you have a helper. Google will be your best friend. And there's also Salesforce help, and there's a Salesforce support. If your company purchase the Salesforce support, that's also another option. So you will be able to do research and find out what needs to be done if you're not sure, and you will be able to get confirmation from Google, because there are lots of professionals, they share their experience, and when they have an issue, they're talking about the solution. In case you have this type of problem, here's the solution. But I could say that you will be able to learn all the main topics and lots of details in Wise Quarter Salesforce Administrator course. So all the videos will be recorded, and you will be able to reach those recorded whenever you need it, even after you start a job. So when you start a job, Most of the time, as a Salesforce administrator, you will be creating reports and dashboards, which is so fun. Everything is automatic. You just click what they need. You will communicate with the users and ask them what they want to see on the reports, and then just click, choose what they want, and then boom, you will have the report ready. And then you will be able to share with them, and you will be using those reports and dashboards. So you will create colorful, beautiful graphs, and they are very useful for the users. There might be some users in a company who is new to Salesforce, doesn't know how to use the Salesforce platform. So you might create some trainings for them. Of course, not right after you start a job, because first you need to get training, right? But yeah, after you learn the company's culture and get familiar with the users, then you can even offer training for them. Or if you know something will make their job easier, you can offer help. You can let them know what can be done on Salesforce. You can maybe do even consulting job in your workplace if you feel confident to do that. If not, there will be some other team members who will do it. So no worries. So you will mostly work in a team. And also, if you're having hard time to understand the task given to you, you will be able to communicate with other colleague in your workplace and ask them a question. If you're respectful other people time, and asking questions to them is not a bad thing. It is actually a very good thing, because that will create environment that you can communicate with other members. You should have smiley face and be open for their question, and you should be able to ask question to them. You will definitely have a lot of friends. And in general, I can say that as a Salesforce administrator, you will be able to use Salesforce tools. Some days might be busy, you might have tasks given, some days may not be that busy, and then you can spend that time to learn more tools on Salesforce, and you may watch some videos, or you may do some trailhead, and you can spend the time to improve your skills. When you have time, you will be able to improve your skills and maybe get more certificates. So this is totally up to you. I know somebody prefer to stay in junior role for like 10 years. On the other hand, another person may want to be architect in 5 years. So yes, it's a choice. In your company, you might have different teams, and you may need to create a platform for each team, and there might be some overlaps, or there might be some individual tasks that they are doing. So you will need to know the business processes in the company and adjust the system for that. But of course, mostly architects build the system, and they will tell you what are the things you should do. The colleagues there will tell you what are the things they needed. So based on those, you will be able to do the adjustment in the system, but all those can be done with clicks. Like you click, you do left click, right click, and then drag and drop. So you are actually using the ready platform. So that's very easy. You just need to know how to reach that page. For that, if you don't know, or if you don't remember the steps, you can use Google or Salesforce help. So as a Salesforce administrator, you also need to set the security system, like giving permissions. Like one person should not see the records of another person, for example. So you can set the limitations, and you can close the access for the managers, and he won't be able to see anything without your permission. Just kidding, of course. If there are some updates on Salesforce, yeah, you should learn about those. If something useful, you may want to apply. And again, you will be creating reports and dashboards, but once you create those, when user do something on the system, that will be updated automatically. So you don't have to create a report every day. No, once you create a report, it will be staying there and updated automatically. And when some other person need another report, then you create another report for another person. And somebody may need a graph to see the report in visually on graph. You can create a dashboard and graph for those. Those are very easy to make. You just need to listen to your instructor when you're taking education and see where you need to click to make those graphs. You will be able to learn writing formulas, and you will learn about data migration. Let's say there's a user who never used Salesforce in his life and then keep all the data in Excel file. And as a Salesforce administrator, you could import that data in Salesforce easily. For example, you can import million records in Salesforce easily, or you may need to update some data. Let's say there are some emails or there are some names in the system, but there's a typo mistake or location. Instead of Canada, they type CN, maybe they want you to change it. So whatever changes needs to happen, you can just create the Excel file and then import it to the system. You can either import or update in the system, or delete the data if there's any unnecessary data in the system. Those changes can be done very easily. So in your team, you will be able to communicate with other team members or Scrum Master or team lead or business analyst or architect, whoever is the person they tell you to communicate. You will be able to ask your questions and learn about the task you need to be done. Some businesses use agile methodology and Jira, and you can keep track of the work and you can see the task with all the details. On the other hand, you might be working as a Salesforce administrator alone in a company, but that doesn't mean that you will not have anybody to ask questions. Because even you're the only Salesforce administrator in a company, you will still have lots of people, lots of colleagues that you can ask your questions. They might be working with an additional consulting company, or they might be working with they might have another developer team. So it is not necessary for you to be in that team, but still you will be communicating, and even you're the one who communicate with users directly, you will also communicate with the developers, or consulting company, or be kind of bridge role between the developers and the users mainly. But I could say that some companies has a business analyst, and business analyst does that role, and then you might be part of the developer team, because developer team may also need admin. In that case, instead of communicating with users, you may be communicating with your project manager, Scrum Master, and other developer team members. That part can be changed by the company, so I cannot tell you that will happen all the time. No, but as long as you have good communication skills and you know the topics that will be taught by vice quarter instructors, you should be fine and you're going to be safe, and you will get real job experience in internship program. And to improve your soft skills, communication skills, we have a platform for you to create a video for us. You will create some videos and we will ask you general interview questions, and we will ask you to answer each question and record yourself, and we will give you professional feedback about your answer for each interview questions. So you will see that the first video may not be that good, but after some time, like when you continue creating those videos every week, at the end of the program, you will see that your soft skills improve and your communication skills improve. You can feel more confident talking to camera during recording, because that's what's going to happen in real interview, right? We have everything you need in this program. As a career coach, I will have lots of soft skills and technical skills given to you. You can choose which one is good for you and choose the one you like, and you can use those keywords in your resume and LinkedIn, and you can use those during the job interview. So we will teach you all the details, and we will tell you what to do to get a job. And our mentors will communicate with you one-on-one every week until the course ended. So you will be able to reach to your mentor anytime when you have a question, when you need help, or when you have concern, or if you need motivation. Our mentors who are currently working on the field will share their experiences with you and will motivate you and will solve your problems. If not, they will find someone who can solve your problem. So we will help each other during this course. And after the course ended, you will be on market with experience and you will be able to apply for a job and have a good salary. Of course, there are some things that affect the salary. For example, work location. By the way, there are online, hybrid, or in-person positions, and depends on the place. Like salary in California might be a little bit different than the salaries in New York. So you can look at those, but there is no huge changes. But there is a big changes based on your experience and knowledge. And I could say that the big companies may offer better payments and benefits, and some small companies may not have those. But in the beginning, when you start a job, after you get experience, you may consider changing your job after that. Usually the business will pay you for your certificate. In case you want to get more certificates and improve your knowledge, they will support you. So you can earn more certificates while you're getting experience in a job, in a project. Your level may change and you may be senior, and after that you might be an architect, so your salary will increase. Here are my resources to create this PowerPoint presentation. But of course, I share my experience with you, and I've been communicating with lots of Salesforce developer and administrator, and I learn a lot from my friends, and they share their experiences with us, and we create too many webinars and get together and communicate each other. We talk about the advantages, disadvantages, and based on my experience, I could say that being a Salesforce administrator is a great choice. And I will suggest you to start the course and try it. If you don't like it, you don't need to pay, because we offer free course. You can try free course, and if you don't like it, you don't have to pay. But if you like it, then you can continue and become a superhero. I mean, Salesforce administrator. Bye, everyone.